J. Cole's album.
No, that's
Drake
gone.
was okay.
That's gone. You know Drake called and say, "Yo, unclear that."
Okay, so must be Drake Bell.
Must be Drake Bell. Get that shit the fuck off. Yeah. It wouldn't even. It would sound dated anyway. It wouldn't make any. It had unless it wouldn't work anyway. It wouldn't work anyway. But now I'm sad because I know that exists.
I'm curious if Kendrick has the same verse on Cole's project as he did this year.
No.
Or if it's rewritten.
No. I don't think he's on there.
He was on there twice.
I don't think he's on there.
Yeah, he was.
I know that for a fact.
He was on the album.
He was on.
Hold on, yo. Yo, goodness gracious. I hate when it does this shit, man. I'm gonna go full screen real quick.
There twice. So I don't. You think Cole's taking 2 Kendrick verses off his album?
I want to let y'all know that this is gonna get clipped and end up on Twitter. So are y'all okay with me leaving that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? That Kendrick was
on J. Cole's album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking news for a fact. Okay.
Yes, Kendrick was on the album, and Drake is on the album. Well, was. Which is why we didn't get the album, because now he got to do his whole album over.
Because all right, see, don't do that. All right, I'm not allowing that. Cole didn't redo his whole album because Drake verse got taken off. He probably just redid his album because he wanted
songs. If you have 2 songs with Drake and 2 songs with Kendrick.
I don't think he had 2 songs with each of them.
Okay, I know he had 2 songs with both.
I'm about to kill myself. I'm really about to kill myself. Like, word to me, I'm not going to lie. I hate this fucking beef. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Great observation, right? So this is one of many ways. So a lot of people don't understand the argument about how the beef fucked the whole ecosystem when it comes to hip hop, right? So let me get big for a quick second. Or it's either that, or people pretend to not understand how the beef fucked up the ecosystem. So right then and there, right? When you have features that are that big, pause. Now, if you have 2 Kendrick features and 2 Drake features, naturally, those 4 records, right? That's a lot of records that are going to be bangers, or probably people's favorite song, or people's go-to on the album, at least for the first time they hear it. So to know that, okay, he might have had a bunch of joints on there that were already good, but we knew for a fact that it was going to be a moment with the Drake and Kendrick songs. That's 4 records. That's a lot of records. So let's say he got 16 records, and those 4 were going to be the strongest, which, again, good records make the other good songs sound better. So if he know he got to take off 4 records, yeah, that's going to change the whole sound of your album, or you may have to go in a different direction. But bigger than that, pause, the fans, the people who enjoy the music, the people who are fans of these guys, people who've been following their career from the beginning, I'm like, God damn, we ain't never really got no Cole and... Matter of fact, there is no Cole and Kendrick song. I don't think. There's Cole and Drake songs, right? But there is no Cole and Kendrick song, right? I know they always talked about collaborating. I think Cole produced a song for Kendrick, I think. But there's no records with Cole and Kendrick. I could be wrong. I don't think so. But Cole and Drake have a stronger musical relationship. And again, that whole shit last year, it was orchestrated, man. It was really some orchestrated shit. It was like a really concerted effort to really try and ruin Drake. But bigger than that, as a fan, like I said before, you think about what this would have sounded like, what this album would have been like, what those features had the album come out on time, right? So now we don't get that. But we also don't get a lot of artists. There's a lot of artists out there who probably got a record that if they can get a Drake verse on it, it would get their whole group popping, get their whole region popping. Because you got to think about, like, when Drake he did that for JB Block Boy, The Weeknd, Party Next Door, Kanye, who else? The list goes on. Lil Baby, like that whole Atlanta movement, Young Thug, Lil Baby, this all these niggas. But bigger than that, artists who had small records, artists who had a small buzz. Drake, like fucking back in 2014, I Love McConan. Like, it became kind of a Drake record and whatnot, but people got to know the I Love Him Conan through Drake, right? And he had much going on after that. But hey, listen, life is life, and life keeps lifing. But yeah, bro, like the whole ecosystem is all fucked up. It is. Actually, I'm gonna find this clip. Matter of fact, it should be on my threads. I'm gonna play it real quick. It's from, I think that's Conway the Machine, the one that has the draw. Pause. Let me see. Did I save it? Let me see if I saved it. Let me see. I sure didn't. Oh well. Hold on a second. I'm gonna YouTube it. Jim Jones and Conway the Machine.
Jim Jones and Conway the Machine.
That's Bill right there. You heard?
Kendrick,
He put
Kendrick
on.
understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's
he
all
did.
I'm saying.
He
He's that.
did.
He
did.
Bro.
I'm not mad.
I'm not the vibe.
I'm
We
not
ain't
mad.
pulling. We can go
I'm not
anywhere
mad.
in New York right now. They ain't playing. I would love them to, but they.
Actually, that's all I wanted to play. Matter of fact, let's go to YouTube real quick because I wanted to get to that part of the conversation. I think that's an important conversation to have in terms of help us to understand. Yes, everyone has a place and everyone has a part to play, right? And I'm not saying that everyone has to rap the same, but on some level, we get to where we encourage the loser mindset, right? Because what you really hear from the beginning is, actually, you know
I
what?
would love them to, but they.
That's fair. We're gonna play it for right here. Fuck it.
That's Bill right there. You heard?
Kendrick,
He put
Kendrick
on.
understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's
he
all
did.
I'm saying. He's
He
that.
did.
He's
He did.
Bro.
I'm not mad.
I'm not the vibe.
I'm
We
not
ain't
mad.
pulling. We can go
I'm not
anywhere
mad.
in New York right now. They ain't playing. I would love them to, but they.
What's going on YouTube? We in hip hop. You know, you gonna go in the club and hear my shit. You know, they agreed on a lot going back. Even though Kendrick saying, "Oh, I ain't hear that." Even Drake wanted that.
The battle between Drake and Kendrick, and I'm talking about not from the commercial and media side. I'm talking about from the rap side.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Kendrick got the best of me. I do. My favorite of the battle was that one Drake shit though was definitely my favorite of the battle. But just all things in its totality, it was like
See, all things in totality, but
I
like
wish
you,
I could have hit Drake. I wish I could. I'm like, man, nigga, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Step. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm
So in this conversation right here, right? Always think about who's saying what. So what Conway getting ready to say after this gives what he's saying a lot of context. So what I noticed was, and again, you're entitled to your own opinion and whatnot, right? But so for example, right, he's going to admit that I'm not the kind of person that people are playing in the club. And the thing is, being as though Jim's had a lot of success with having those kind of records. Now, yeah, Jim has passed his, I guess, his prime in terms of being younger and whatnot. But Jim always had the ear for good music, and he actually was able to make, to me, a lot of really good joints. That it might have been for a super long time, but think about from '02, to 2010, they did, put out a lot of good records between the whole Dipset, right? But what Jim is speaking to is like this whole thing of, again, people treating Kendrick like he's a Make-A-Wish Foundation type nigga, where it's like this is his dream, this is his one dream as a little kid to finally be better than Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Man
Relax.
is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much. You're not getting it. It's not clocking
Not
to
clocking
you.
to you.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
not.
You're not getting it.
Is it clocking to you? Jim, you can see with his face, he's like, alright, nigga, can we have a real conversation? Because there's this thing where you have to have the same answer that everyone else has. And what that answer has come to be what it is based on the bullying. And it was also like people, it was just a narrative. And this is why the investigation with the payola, with the radio station and Ebro in the morning, them niggas definitely took money. All them podcasts took money one way or the other. Matter of fact, mad channels took money and got whitelisted to use that song or be able to use that song without getting flagged and being able to play it in a video. That's paying. That's promotion. If people spoke positively about that song, they got paid for it. So if me and you was battling and I'm dissing you, and I have several media outlets or several big platforms who are paid to speak positively about my record, how would that not help me? That is huge for the battle. And when people talk about this shit, the nigga just said my favorite joint for the battle was from Drake. But I thought, but what it was is, and I'm gonna tell you where he's coming from. The perspective he's coming from is that whack hip hop won today. We need whack hip hop or hip hop that's not that appealing to win, rather than you creating your own heat. And I think all those brothers are talented. I think Conway's talented too. I like his raps and everything. But nigga, like that's on you. That you're not able to compete because it's about competition. That's that. I'm not saying he a loser, but that's a loser mindset when your mind doesn't go to, all right, well, how can I make some shit that's so hot that it is able to compete? Because the thing is, I think when these niggas put their style together, being as though you don't when y'all niggas are developing your sounds, and this is how someone like Conway developed his sound. You focused on rapping about one particular thing and rapping one kind of way, rather than finding your bag over all kind of beats. Yo, when you an MC, you're supposed to be able to rap over everything. It doesn't matter what it is, because it's about finding the pocket, the tone, the subject matter, and everything, right? But what Jim Jones is speaking to is the actual business, and despite if he does everything perfect and whatnot, the certain rumors are true about his business acumen. It take bread to show up with new jewelry on all the time. It take bread to show up with new clothes on, you know what I mean, and looking well groomed. So obviously, you know what I mean, he ain't missing no meals, and he's doing well. So Jim has always had a little more of a business mind, and I think it's dope seeing him getting the content. Cause I think he's good online. I think Jim has also managed to stay, and someone else is making this point too about how throughout all this time, Jim has managed to still stay relevant, and we're still talking about Jim Jones and still seeing Jim Jones. I mean, really the whole Dipset, or just him and Cameron in particular, we're still seeing these niggas in one way or the other. And I think that, again, when niggas open their minds up to look at music differently in terms of, all right, well, I don't have to keep reliving the same success over and over and over again. And also, too, we got to also always respect someone's past success, because Jim's success in music was monumental. Like, as an independent artist, he did do a lot of really cool things. Also, Jim held different executive positions. He helped start Love and Hip Hop. Just all these different things, and always has been a genius. He also was the architect, over at Dipset. He was doing the engineering. He's helping with doing the videos. He did videos for State Property, all that shit. I remember, I never forget, they was on Smack DVD, and Jewels made a point. They was in the studio, and Jim Jones was fucking with the mixing board. And I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but I'm going to trust that he knew what he was doing, because I believe in Jim Jones. And he said proudly, he know how to use all this shit. He know how all this shit work. And I was so impressed by that, because that showed intelligence. It showed a different way of looking at how to be productive, how to add, basically how to add value. And in him doing that, he's managed to be able to take care of himself to this day. But anyway, get back to what Jim is speaking to. What Jim is speaking to is, okay, let's get to reality about what's most important. What's most important is the music that actually moves people.
It's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous, but I think that everything happened was whatever. I just wanted to ask you that question just because.
Man, Kendrick stepped, bro. Kendrick stepped on.
Take nothing away from him, but
Drake was stepping too, but I feel like
Drake is a stepper, man.
I wish I was with Drake, bro.
I can't say.
I would have never.
I can't.
I'm trying to get the party lit. Nah, nigga, I'm stepping.
I ain't trying to get the party lit. I would say this. That battle has put a dent in the hip hop pop culture, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because
we ain't seen a battle on a mainstream level like that probably ever.
Okay, so people or the media got what they always want, was two powerful people going up against each other, and somebody got to be the winner, somebody got to be the loser. Now, the aftershock of that is now, none of these dudes that were battling are putting out any music right now. We haven't heard no music from none of them in how long? And this is the music that we really been listening to for the past 10 years straight. Was Drake had the tempo of this motherfucking knocking, and it's a lot of that missing and shit like that from.
I ain't gonna lie, I need some more Drake music.
All right, stop. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. again, you gotta think about who's saying what. And again, everyone got a part to play. I think Conway is great. In the era we always gotta say like some like very positive things before you how can I say keep it real. But at the end of the day, a lot of artists, the way they create is they do what's accessible to them. They do what they think is accessible. Like I always felt like when me and my boy had this argument about the Clips album. I'm not saying I think it's whack or it's ass. I just bro, I wasn't super interested in hearing it because it sounded very much like 2010s. It just doesn't really have the same space. It doesn't really fit to me in terms of like, it's not a efficient music because it doesn't have a place. I don't feel like I don't want to hear this in the gym. I don't want to hear this when I'm driving. I don't want to hear this around a girl. I'm not thinking about this song when I turn it off, right? Because they're not really songs. It's these niggas rapping over like the best production ever, which also sounds kind of dated. But most importantly, when he hears that music, my homeboy, a part of it is, you rap, right? In your mind, you think in your mind, I could make something like that, or I could do that, sort of. You know what I mean? Or you think, you can make something like that. And what it is that, let's say the Clips in particular. The Clips, everything has to like happen perfectly for a Clip song to be a good Clip song because they're not good with not that good with song structure like that. Like I think they've gotten better over time. But not only that, there's not much of a difference for like how they rap in 2025 and how they rap in 2002. Like that's not like I couldn't really say if you turned the beat off, I will be able to clearly tell. All right, this is 2025 Pusha T. I mean, I think I could tell, but it wouldn't be super clear. Versus 2000 Hove would sound totally different from 2025 Hove if we turn the beat off. The way Hove was rapping on Ape Shit is way different from Izzo. You know what I'm saying? Even the things he's saying, right? How Hove was rapping on Kingdom Come is way different from Big Pimpin', even with everything he's saying. The way people respond to the Kendrick battle, again, what it was about was that, well, listen, lame music can win too. A nigga that's not good at making those kind of songs, he can win too. It don't just gotta be the songs that niggas like. I mean, and again, when y'all niggas act like that, y'all are the same as the friend who's kind of attractive who wants you to date her ugly friend, all right, or date her unattractive friend, or try to call you superficial because you don't want to date her unattractive friend. It's very weird, super weird. I never forget when I was in high school. This shit so long ago. I'm getting to the age where I could not like clearly remember things that happened from long ago. But I remember, I think she was like writing me notes and letters and whatnot. And I mean, I already knew that. I'm like, this is not gonna be no attractive girl. I was just hoping that, well, maybe she'll be attractive enough. And again, she seemed like someone who probably grew into like a very cute girl. But at the time, like, she wasn't like done blossoming yet. Cause for the most part, women don't really get to see their potential until they have money, right? And they get to be, they get a little of that grown woman weight on them and stuff like that. Everyone's time is not in high school. I wonder how she doing though. But no, she was a very nice girl. But I forgot what I said to her friend. But I think she called me superficial for some reason, and like it was just weird. I'm thinking like, a lot of guys don't realize women be playing attorney for their friends. Cause she spoke up as if she was the actual defense attorney, and basically her whole point was like, basically you should want what's on the inside. I mean, I believe that right there. So I'm gonna play a little more of this clip, then we're gonna move on to something else.
Trying to say
Take
you
that
did.
nigga, man. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't
So
be.
you gotta watch. I know, bro, but this is what
crime in the locker room.
This is what
Straight
we at.
to the nigga,
Society
bro.
society got what they want, and this is where we at. We had a dry spell right now. You heard?
Kendrick understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. He did. Bro.
But Kendrick
that Super Bowl.
But yeah, that's cool.
All of that shit, bro.
But now when we go outside, there's no vibe. Kendrick never provided the vibe inside the spots that we at every night.
Yeah, bro.
He put that perfectly. And again, A lot of artists do not want to deal with the reality of what the standard is. Shout out to the Angry Man. The standard is the standard. You need records that go off in the club or something that niggas can play in the club. It don't gotta be a girl record. Trap music has proven that. Like, yo, when I got some trap beats, I said, oh shit, okay. This is a way into making a club record when I'm making a club record. It's about making music niggas can move to, that niggas can live to, shit that sound fly. And you have to tap into that part of yourself. You have to have all of that. And you have to find your way into that. I'm saying you got time. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or not, but you have niggas that's in this lane, right? Where all they can do is make like dirty nigga music. Or like niggas like it's music for niggas that ride the bus. It's not for music for niggas who got cars. Cause you don't want to hear this shit in your car because they're not really songs. Or they don't, because a lot of niggas don't really make records that have a strong like musical structure and song structure and different things happen and they do different tones and different flows and rap about different things, and it's like, yo, even what you choose to rap about is also important when it comes to music in general. But there's this has been a conversation right here where you hear multiple things at one time. What you hear is this huge desire to feel as though there needs to be like this worshiping of Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? And this, you know, let's make sure that we bow our heads and all this type of shit. But again, what it really is just that it's the loser mindset rearing its ugly head. And the loser mindset, you always want the winner to lose because you relate more to losing. You feel more like, why are you always winning? Like why are you doing that? And I'm saying, no, I want you to be on my level. And never forget, people always level set. All right? And a person will always drag you down to their level. Which is why it's super important that, yo, you cannot be around certain people. Anyway, my bad. I was on now. So, Conway gonna make a really important point, I think, and it's really about competition. And if you're watching this video right now, I want you guys to understand that, you know, listen, and whatever you're doing, you have to scale whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing, and scale it against the best thing you ever seen. Like, for example, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Yo, like in 2026, I'm going to be more committed to getting in the best shape I've ever got into and sacrificing more. You know what I mean? And get my mind off of this certain behaviors and whatnot. Like today, I was in the gym over there in South Orange and whatnot. I said, yo, fuck, I'm gonna go after work and I'm gonna get a little chest workout and whatnot, right? It was a guy, and that nigga was jacked. Low ass body fat, jacked, right? And I'm like, yo, in this moment I'm thinking, all right, as I'm thinking about the body that I want to have, I need to be scaling my body against someone who's in amazing shape and say, all right, how close can I get to that? And what's the steps to get to that? A lot of people do not want to create in that way. They don't want to move in that way because it's too much responsibility. All right, and it gets them out their comfort zone. Both of y'all saying that y'all ain't the vibe. That's both of y'all giving up. Because both of y'all make music. I mean, so I'm like, yo, on some level, we gotta talk about why aren't you're not even trying to compete with whatever the vibe is. And this goes again to just men's low standards. A lot of us are not taking that spiritual journey.
He does what he does for the hip hop culture, and yes, he's a god, and nobody can fuck with him on the level of rap. That's what they was going Drake back and forth. But he ain't the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to. Now, yo, put the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to, and he decides to stay inside. No. And he's so rich. And he don't have to come outside ever again and just look and laugh at the game because he's up a billion.
If you can talk about my career, then I could talk about your life.
Who's the next person that's going to come provide the vibe?
We'll never get another person.
This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
He's that.
You heard?
Yeah, he had.
Like you hear this shit? So you can't in one breath admit that someone is this important. Because you got to realize that people made the battle about so many different things, but at the end of the day, what it was about was like, yo, you want to see the top guy lose. And a lot of men maybe won't understand that shit because you don't really pursue glory. Like, you're not really in competition. If you never done anything where there has to be a winner and a loser, I think it's important. I don't care if you want to play chess. You need to be doing things where there's a winner and a loser so you can experience definitive loss, definitive wins in life. I don't care if you want to get into a bowling league. Do something because it helps you to understand like where you're going, understand trends, and because it makes you think. Because you learn the most from experiences where you thought you were going to win and you didn't win. One of the most transformative things I've done in life is battle, which I really am glad I had the opportunity to experience that, and it's been a really cool hobby and everything, and it really helped me develop and be around a lot of cool people and be around all these different platforms and whatnot, and just develop just as an entertainer, you know, and. But what that's done for me is helped me develop my personality, my whole concept of entertainment, how I express myself, how I my understanding of body movement. You know what I mean? You see me move my hips around and my shoulders and shit. You know what I mean? And, yeah, hella animated. So anyway, I thought this was a really cool clip. But overall, man, you have to have a competitive mindset, and what that means is that whatever you think the best is, let's say when it comes to a car, all right, what do you think is a really nice car? All right, where's the car that you can afford? You want to get, like, where's the scale? All right, well, what do you need to do to be able to afford the car that you really want? What do you need to do to be able to afford the woman that you really want? What do you need to do to get the body you really want? What do you need to do to become who you need to be, the best version of yourself? All right, because again, what I hear when I hear this conversation is, especially when he says, I ain't the vibe, you ain't the vibe. All right, so why are y'all supporting a nigga that's not the vibe? A part of this shit too is that's Randall's ugly head is losers always try to undermine hierarchy. So get me wrong, they're acknowledging hierarchy, but the battle was also about pretty much about how black culture does not respect hierarchy amongst black men. Because anyone could at a glance look and see who's at the very top of the game, who's the top dog. You know what I mean? But we always do this shit amongst black men where it's like, all right, well, no matter what, we always want to bring you down to, all right, well, you just a nigga. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what your contributions are, who you helped, right? What you've been doing for the game musically. Nah, we gonna bring you down to whoever's at the motherfucking bottom. A nigga the other day argued with me because he wanted to say that basically he was comparing Fonte from Little Brother to Drake. And I'm like, bro, that's that loser mindset. Little Brother was never successful. Little Brother are two brothers who could rap, and I'm not saying they can't. I like Little Brother. But comparing an unsuccessful group to Drake is crazy. Cause niggas, all right, broke niggas have this thing where they even want to hear loser music. They even want to hear music from an artist who's unsuccessful. Let that shit sink in. You want to hear music from a nigga who don't make good songs. Because that's what a lot of you boom bap niggas are. Y'all are genre niggas who specifically, conscious niggas too. And that's why they call y'all conscious and boom bap. And they had to label y'all so okay, the music ain't gonna be so good over there. Rather than this saying it's hip hop. When shit is lit, it's hip hop, it's rap. It gets to just be rap. You don't have to put a label on it. It's just good. Like with Drake, it's just good. There's no label on it. For J. Cole, it's just good. For Wale, it's just good. Young Boy is just, well, I guess they call that drill. Young Boy is just good. You understand? All right. Yeah, took a quick break. Oh, all right, cool. Whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and finish out with this Cardi shit. I get to other stuff some other time. So let's go ahead and check Cardi. Listen, Cardi has to be like a Secret Service agent. She has to be like a CIA agent. There's no way that you could possibly be this ghetto. Before I go any further, let me make sure that my mic is good. All right, we go. We on a good mic. All right, so I just can't help but think, and let me get situated. I can't help but think that there's no way that this is a real person. There's just no way that you could be this ghetto, and not only that, it's being so forthcoming with it. You know what I mean? That's a wild concept. Seeing somebody be on like such bullshit. First of all, she came to the internet with the bonnet on. Let me tell you something. I remember years ago hearing Six and got us talk about how when a woman showed with a bonnet on, what she's saying to the world is, "I don't give a fuck." But deeper than that, there's a dark spiritual energy. There's a dark hado. You know, like in Street Fighter with Ryu, where like that demon would take over them. That's what the bonnet does for women. It's like the dark hado takes over them, and they just get more ratchet. That's when you're more likely to see one. You know, the John from around the way popping up on next videos. Got one on bonnet videos. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Relax, yo. They gotta chill.
Wrap you in my warm embrace. Stop playing with me.
I heard someone once say this situation with Cardi B and Stephon Diggs is the most ghetto shit ever. Like I told y'all before, Cardi B has made a living off of actually taking what she was doing on Love and Hip Hop and just making a whole lifestyle out of it. Her whole life has been one long Love and Hip Hop scene, okay? This situation with Offset, somehow, I don't know, this like the cheating, the frequency of cheating, and this Offset kind of fulfilling mad black stereotypes. Because for the most part, black women's idea of black men, I feel like it's largely based off of Offset. Like